When we come to a garden like Armadale, which is essentially a woodland garden and arboretum, we often think of all the exotic and rare trees that the garden may hold. But of course we have our own native trees as well, and here we are next to a really nice Ulmus glabra, Scotch elm or wych elm, W-Y-C-H elm as it's sometimes known. And we have a few really good specimens of it here in the gardens at Armadale, and on other parts of the island, especially in Uig Woods at the north end, there's also some very fine specimens of elm. Now for those of us that live around these elms, as I do, you're very aware they're here and they're healthy. But I know from other parts of the country, including where I originated from in Cambridgeshire, elm has been essentially lost from the landscape due to the ingression of Dutch elm disease, which really came to my notice in 1975 and 76, when the landscape of my childhood was totally decimated by Dutch elm disease. All the hedgerow trees and copses were lost, and I still go back there and have a tear about the loss of those wonderful trees of my childhood. So you can imagine when I came to Skye for the first time 35 years ago to see elms flourishing, and indeed today see elms flourishing, it gives me a lot of hope and a lot of pleasure. So whilst you're here enjoying the wonderful rare trees, do take note of the wonderful native trees that we have as well, of which this beautiful elm is one of them. We're now standing in the Victorian Arboretum at Armadale Castle, where there are many fine conifers and many fine deciduous trees. The genus Abies, we mentioned Abies alba, do particularly well here with our higher rainfall. And we're standing adjacent now to a lovely Abies procera, the noble fir from Western North America. And I think it is one of my favourite trees in the garden. It stands here with such grandeur and stature. And as I walk up to the stem, you'll see it's of good girth. It's quite a size, quite a majestic tree, and if we scan up into the canopy, you'll see it's extremely heavy in the crown, but we're relatively sheltered here in the Arboretum, and these trees have a good opportunity to grow to a good size. So this is one of our finest, Abies procera, the noble fir. This is another one of our big conifers here at Armadale. This is a lovely specimen of Thuja plicata, the Western Red Cedar from North America. It has this lovely fluted stem, and in this particular example, not only is it a magnificent trunk, adjacent to us are a number of alternate stems, so it's growing into its own copse essentially. This is totally natural and not unknown at all. One of the features, in fact, of the tree. The other thing I noticed this morning, we'd had heavy rainfall over the last 2 days, and the smell which pervaded this area around the tree was one of lemon and pineapples, and the rain had crushed the foliage enough that it set off this scent, and as the rain receded and the temperature rose, the scent was absolutely wonderful. So again, another one of our fine Victorian trees here at Armadale.